Steven Spielberg's newest film, West Side Story, is finally here.
High five! Great.
But is this his best work yet? Let's find out. Love at first sight strikes when young Tony spots Maria at a high school dance in 1957 New York. Their romance helps to fuel the fire between the Warning Sharks and Jets, two rival gangs vying for control of the streets. So this is a remake of the 1961 musical of the same name, which I just saw for the first time. I know, very surprising. Steven Spielberg is one of the best directors, and I've been looking forward to this film for quite some time. I don't have that huge connection to the original West Side Story, so going into this, I was just hoping for a good Steven Spielberg film. And this is a really good film. I love musicals, and I feel that he adapted this movie really well. There is a lot of things to appreciate about this movie. The first thing I want to talk about is the cast. Rachel Zegler plays Maria, and Ansel Elgort plays Tony. They are really good in this film. I could easily see Rachel Zegler being nominated for an Oscar. And she is set to play Snow White and alongside Gal Gadot in the new Disney film. I'm really excited for that. She brings a lot of emotion to the film. There is a lot of scenes that require some deep emotion for this character. I'm not going to avoid spoilers since that first one came out decades ago. And so there is scenes that do require some heavy emotional moments, and she handles them so well. She is perfect in this. And Ansel Elgort is a little more laid back in the movie. He does give a really good performance, but it just doesn't hit as hard as Rachel Zegler's performance, or maybe the character of Tony isn't as emotional as Maria in the film, but still Ansel Elgort, really good performance in here. One character I found to be very impressive was Valentina, who is played by Rita Moreno. She actually played Anita in the original film. They brought her back for this film for a new character. She's playing the same character as Doc from the original film, and I thought that was very unique, and I absolutely loved it. And she is pushed for Best Supporting Actress. But everybody else, from Ariana DeBose, Mike Feist, and David Alvarez, really impressed me with the amount of time that these characters had, because the story does focus on Tony and Maria when they meet at a high school dance and them falling in love. And this is a very short time period, like a couple days. It's based on like Romeo and Juliet, but it's very quick. But the film also focuses a lot on the Sharks and the Jets, two rival gangs that are vying for control of the streets. And there's a lot of time to develop these two gangs and the conflict between them. And watching the original film, there's a lot more depth given to these characters, and I really did appreciate the side characters and those moments with the two gangs, because Maria and Tony did benefit from that, because you were constantly thinking that, okay, Maria and Tony, judging off of the story, should not be together. And you absolutely are rooting for them to be together. And I think by having so much time spent with Riff, Tony's friend, and Maria's brother, Tony and Maria do benefit and are able to grow as characters and have that relationship blossom throughout the film. And Ansel Elgort and Rachel Zegler have great chemistry to make that relationship feel very believable. Now, Steven Spielberg's directing is amazing. There are so many impressive shots throughout the movie that really bring this musical to life and are really able to capture the hard work of the actors and actresses within the film, of all of the choreographed moments, everything in here, the amount of effort to create this movie. Steven Spielberg is able to capture it all, and you're able to just soak in these moments, from the songs to the dancing to the costume designs to the set. You're able to just really appreciate everything about this movie just off of his directing. The tracking shots, slowly zooming into scenes, overhead shots. There are so many good looking scenes within this movie, and it just proves that he is one of the best directors of all time. One thing I also liked about this movie is the vintage feel to it. Yes, it is released in 2001, but it does look like it was released decades ago. You know, it's obviously cleaner than a movie that would be released in the 60s, but it has a vintage feel to it with its costume designs and its setting, but also the way that it is edited and it's shot. It has that vintage feel to it, and I felt like I was watching a film from the 60s. I always love when a movie just goes above and beyond in creating that time period and making it feel believable. Steven Spielberg and everybody who worked on the film made it feel very believable. It does center on the gangs quite often, and there's a lot of depth given to them, but I do feel like there is some moments that just don't feel very emotional. If you've seen the original film, we know that these two gangs, they are set to fight, and Maria does not want that to happen, and Tony is trying to stop it all. And they have that conflict, that tension, and it leads to their fight. There's times where it could be very emotional compared to that original film, but the music overplays certain scenes and really overpowers it to really take away those emotional moments. There's a few scenes in particular that really could work and be very emotional, but the score is overpowering it, and it's a really kind of like that snappy score that we got from the original film overpowers some of these emotional moments to where you just aren't feeling it. But there is a couple moments towards the end of the film, especially coming from Rachel Zegler, who is able to overpower those moments and bring those emotional moments out. But there are a few scenes I just don't feel connected to the characters or what they are offering to me, and I felt that quite often in the film. You know, I still am enjoying the choreographed moments and the music in the film, but I wanted to be deeply invested in some of these characters' lives and all of the emotions pouring throughout the film, and I just could not get that with a couple of the scenes. It's much more grittier than the original film, and it's able to feel believable rather than being flashy and colorful like the original film was. But this is a triumph. It's a beautifully directed film from Steven Spielberg, who has directed some of the best films of all time. And this just adds to his list of amazing films that he has directed. Performances in here are really great. That conflict between the sharks and the jets are there, and there's a lot of time to develop that. In the conversation about the sharks and their community and the streets and the jets wanting them out, that really moves forward very nicely, and you're able to understand the sharks and the reasoning for protecting their streets and their lifestyle as well. And I really like that approach in the movie, and it was in the original film as well, but it feels very strong within this movie and very welcoming too. So before I give you my score for West Side Story, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit that subscribe button and get it all in one spot. I'm going to go ahead and give West Side Story an A-. Thank you guys for checking my review for the new Steven Spielberg film, West Side Story. Have you guys seen it? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content. My name is Just Watching Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.